So guys, this video I want you to take a listen. This is a video that vindicates P2B, because P2B have always been saying that this country needs to move from a country that only consumes to a country that also produces. Just take a listen and see how this man tackled APC government for failures. Take a listen, guys.
Everybody have told me when subsidy is gone, the price will come down. I said no, the price will not come down, because at 5,000 naira per liter, you still need to use it. And if you don't have sufficient supply, the price will keep going up. What does that mean? You must allow government to have some level of control because of intervention for the people. Because private sector will neglect the people, they will pursue profits. But for the sake of welfare of the people, government must have influence to say you cannot. But unfortunately, even now, government is even the one backing flotation. And government is wondering that we expect that the price should start coming down now. When you don't understand the meaning of policy you made, when you make adjustment to tax law during economic hardship, it is wrong.
The timing is wrong.
The timing is wrong. If you check the history of Russia, 3 policies that you must not combine. If you say you want your economy to grow, if you are increasing taxes, your economy will actually shrink. It will not grow. It's not up to 5 years that we signed the first tax bill under President Buhari. 5 or 6 years. We have seen twice under his administration. Now we are seeing 4 bills go to the National Assembly.
Yeah.
There are some I support, there are some I don't. So I've told you things that I support in the bill, things that are good in the bill. Let me now tell you what I don't particularly support. Any form of tax increase. 10% VAT means people will pay more for consumption. Now, what are we really paying for? Are we paying for production to grow in Nigeria? Hold it there. Go to the National Bureau of Statistics. 80% of all of our finished products are imported. 80%. 80%. From your eyeglass, to your woman hair, to your wristwatch, to your tablet, to your suit, to your chain, to the clipper that barb you, to the tie, to the microphone, to the television. Who are we paying VAT to? Over which production? So, we have not been able to connect tax collected to the improvement of our economy. So that's on one hand. Taxes are compulsory and must be paid. It is not optional. So if you are saying you want to increase tax brackets, that is, people are not paying taxes, by the virtue of prof's job, he has to pay, it's deducted from source. Yes. But of how much? I'm sorry, sir. I don't know if there is any professor earning up to $500 in Nigeria today.
What?
In $500 a month. I don't know. I don't think so.
No.
I don't think so. Now, you now say that part of his disposable income as a professor in our university, he will now say he wants to buy a commodity of 10,000. But as year goes by, he will not pay 10,000. He will now pay 11,000. What happens to disposable income?
It diminishes.
It diminishes as the consumption. Remember that VAT is on consumption. And to be alive, he has to consume.
Yeah.
While he's giving knowledge, with his knowledge, it's connecting markets and farms together. It's connecting production center, even though it's not in existence,
exactly,
together. So he's making his contribution. I was in Ife. Professor taught me. Different professors, doctors. I was in OAU. But are we able to connect? So when it now comes to spending, VAT jumped from 5% to 7.5. Where is the difference in our economy?
So it's to the economy.
Where is the difference? States collect most of the money. Where is the difference in states? Local government collect after. What is the difference in local government? Federal government collect 15%. Where is the difference? Where is the impact? So it's important. Another good thing in this some of these laws I've said is that people can ask questions. But who will appoint those that will determine the results? It's another conversation entirely, as Prof mentioned in his analysis. So for me, continuous increase in taxes is dangerous even now because of the economy that we run. Don't be deceived. You have seen 3.46 GDP growth rate. It is no growth. You know why? You need to find the substance of that economy. I'll give you an instance. In 2022, Nigeria's GDP was nearly $500 billion. United Arab Emirates GDP was 480 or 470 billion dollars, which means Nigeria GDP was actually higher
than that.
because of our population. Today, our GDP is not up to half
is
of 10 million people.
Yes.
And guess what? The exchange rate of UAE, Google it if you like, and you can call him when you check, has been between 3.65 or 3.69 dirhams. Not 5 years ago, not 10 years ago, almost in perpetual. The same with Bahrain. The same with Saudi Arabia. What is our offense? So it is not true that currency must be floated. And I also mentioned to you, you can confirm, some of these countries give subsidy on PMS from time to time.
Oh, they do all the time.
So their people. America, the father of modern market capitalism, gives subsidy up to 22 trillion naira. To who? To their cotton farmers and other farmers in America. Economy that is weak, that people are poor, we say we take subsidy, one of the key parts of the economy, off them. We want to give them as cash.
Even on insulin, American government pays subsidy for those who have diabetes and they have to pay for insulin.
So here is it.
Okay.
On the tax bill, there are some that are good and there are some that are not too good. People to be prepared, they will pay more. Whether the money is collected, we go into doing what they want it to do, well, it's not for Taiwo Dili to decide. It's not for me to decide. It is people have collected 5,000 naira from. Like I saw with my eyes on TVC. A woman saying that she has collected money and she has voted. Such money will get to the pockets, to get to the control of such politicians, whosoever might have paid. And then we now decide whether they will give you road or not, whether they want to keep money for the next election or not. So here is the question. It may now discourage people from consuming. One, it may discourage even production. Yeah. Two, because that's not the only tax that will go up. There are all forms of taxes that will go up. One good thing about that tax is that withholding tax has also been reviewed. Because you take a portion of my money, hoping that when I come for my tax clearance, I will now the money can be released, which is good. But when it comes to increasing any form of taxes during economic crisis, because we are in one, is never recommended by economists. Answering your question directly regarding conditional cash transfer, I agree. Nigeria is not the only country that has done this. But I tell you, China was once the largest population in the world up until 2022, 2023, when India decided to become the largest population in the world. At that time, China thought the way of moving our people out of poverty and deprivation, and I'm referring to 60s and 70s, was via conditional cash transfer. The truth is that the people remain in poverty, hunger, and deprivation until China knew that that is not what brought Europe out of the same economic crisis. Nigeria is repeating a method that we have known in the world that has failed. I am not saying giving it to people is not good or bad. I'm saying that what is the impact? So people became poor because one sense of dependency increases. People are not able to work because they believe that something will get to them. In any case, what happened to China? China then changed strategy because at the time it was an economy that was practicing autarky, was not really trading with the rest of the world, maybe few in terms of exchange. So it was autarky. No, but here is it. What did China do? They started building factories and saying that production is the way to go. Wait a minute. President Buhari was fond of spending 500 billion when exchange rate was less than 500 naira on the same program for 8 years. How much was that? Leave President Buhari alone. President Tinubu have started the same thing. And not just the president. Governors are doing the same thing. Pull all of these non-productive monies together. It's like you have a large farm. You now have a bottled water or sachet water. You are now sprinkling it in different corners of your farm, hoping that you are doing irrigation. You have wasted the water that is insufficient. Your crops will not grow, they will all die. Poverty we be strong, we be entrenched in the system.
So you're calling this conditional transfers wastes?
It's a waste, clearly. Because let me ask you, the way you have been looking for people that has impacted, I know a few persons, but they have to be political cronies, they have to be people who have registered under political structure, political register. And this is not to attack a political party, across all political parties, even in states. That is what President Tinubu, when he said he was going to give 80,000, as soon as he finished that broadcast, I was in a television station and asked me, I said it was a big mistake. And I spoke in about 5 other TV stations and several radio stations. I put it in the print media. I was shocked that a week after, the president reversed himself. And I was asked by a TVC, have you noticed the president reversed himself regarding what you said last week? I said, it's not a sign of weakness, it's a sign of strength. When you hear that your citizens are complaining that wanting to give 8,000 is not the way to go, that he reversed, I was happy. But what I met my biggest shock when I realized the president now replaced that with sharing of rice.
Exactly.
What happens to the price of rice? Surge. Why? Because an artificial demand came. You understand? Everybody now wants to buy rice. Unemployment, rice. Inflation, rice. So it cannot solve the problem. So the strategy that was used was to now say, let's share rice. Please, where is the rice? In fact, some senators and honorables will tell their people that it's their own contribution to them. So the culture of wanting to share, it is momentary. It is temporal. It cannot lift our people out of poverty and deprivation. Let's do this math. Let's assume it's 10,000. What is exchange rate today? Let's be charitable. 1,650. Let's be charitable. 1,650 divided by 10,000. What figure will it give us? I don't know if it can help us. How much will that be? 10,000 naira divided by 1,650. How much will that give us? But you see, for you to come above poverty line, not my figures, according to the UNDP, you need to earn $1.95. Somebody $2. That's about $60. So if you are giving people 10,000 naira, is it to sustain them in poverty? In the environment where they did this, it's not the same amount they were collecting. It's not 10,000. That is why I say convert your 10,000, which is less than $10, which is less than, if you like, $7 or $8 for a whole month. How much is the price of bread today? So how do we impact our people? So as a government that wants to help people, because in Germany, even if you go on social support, government will keep you there, give you some basics. However, there are opportunities that they will even inform you that there are openings.
In Germany, they will even teach you skills.
They will teach you skills. But
even if you are in jail, they will make sure that you go through a productive system in jail that will teach you about certain things that when you come out of jail, you become productive.
We have Technica here. How popular is it? It's now a bus stop. We have Technica in Osogbo. The Technica school. How many? How popular is it? Everybody wants to go to Ife. Yeah, I finished from Ife, but everybody wants to go to AU. Want to go to UI of this world. We don't all have business in the university. Is that how popular universities are known in China?
No.
Is that how they got there?
No.
Is that how popular they are in areas where industry was promoted? And he said, I made an example the last time. I said, check, countries are not the same. China has the largest population up until 2 years ago. China understood that we cannot use service-driven GDP. It has to be production-driven GDP.
Absolutely.
So what was their target? Factories, because they were sharing money the way we were. Factories were built. They ensured they wrap up with their energy system, electricity. They also wrapped up in infrastructure, road. And they provided skill, not degree to their people. Look at where Germany is, China is today. Leave China. Go to the Southern America. Brazil did the same thing. They now produce stronger rice equipment than their counterparts in India. Because they understood that the miracle, economic miracle we are looking for is in production. That's the economic miracle. Go to America. With all the technology America is still producing, But come to my beloved country, Nigeria. 20 to 60%, gross about 80% is in non-manufacturing, non-industrial sector. You know what we have done? We have sandwiched our economic miracle. We have sandwiched it. And we are hoping that when we eat it, we will eat nothing. We'll be hitting, even in agriculture. Production is not agro-processing that is taking the lead. It's crop production. Took largest proportion of growth in it. So you cannot be giving people 5,000, 10,000 and call it all manner of name and expect that the program will have impact. No. If we are trying to sustain people to vote for us in the next election, which that's the way it appears to me, so that we can have register of those that will vote for us again and collect data, yes, that may be a political strategy. But when you think that is an economic strategy, it will fail. Now the money we are giving them has even lost value.
Completely. What's the buying power of the naira?
So you might need to now increase the money. But what? But you know what? The truth is that there is another method of building a robust economy, a sustainable economy, energy-driven economy. Let me give you an instance, because I know people are watching us. Imagine that we say we want to solve the problem of school uniform. 40 million pupils, primary, secondary. If the only thing we can produce in Nigeria is adire from Abeokuta, if that's the only thing we can produce, let's produce it. Because when I was in secondary school, for instance, Loyola College, it is not the checkers that helped me to study. It's not the checkers. It is the content of what my teacher taught me. So why will I go to school and spend so much money from India and China and East London and expect that those things will impact my life? Will London allow that you're importing school uniform into their country? And guess what? As we're having this program, a boy and a girl are somewhere now, talking to themselves, inside one dark room. After 9 months, somebody will come out. They will put pressure on your exchange rate. Because they don't care. They don't know that the school uniform for that boy or girl or those twins to come to life will be imported. And look at all of us in this studio. My brother and I, you might say we are westernized and our clothes are imported. But even Magaji himself, His Highness, and my prof, their own clothes too, they are not made in Nigeria. Why? Go to Kaduna. It's moribund. It's a shadow of itself. It used to be the pride of West Africa, not just Nigeria.
Yes.
But where is it today? Even this Adire I'm talking about, they started importing it from China.
Oh, yes.
They will now tell you that, do you want Nigeria old or you want the one from China? Meanwhile, our government is looking. My governor, in what's it called? My governor in, what's it called now? Ogun, is looking. Till that market is gone. Meanwhile, my governor in Osun, what can he do? If this is what our people can do in Osun State, can we make laws to say that in the next 5 years, or the next 2 years, in the next 1 year, this is what Osun students will use? Laugh at us, but you see the growth in our life. You see the productivity. You see employment.
Made by Osun people.
Made by
Osun people.
In fact, Adire, you can write names of different schools, and they can use different colors, different patterns. This is how growth will come. China has once made the worst car in the world. Not the kind of cars they do today. They are not the worst cars anymore. Because when you produce over and over and over, you see errors and you correct. And you beef up. And there is improvement. It is not when you give people 5,000. It is common knowledge that when you give a man a fish, you make him dependent. If you want him to be independent, you throw him out of fish. So that's where our economic miracle lies. It's not 5,000.
It's exactly what P2B have been hammering on. Let's change this country from a country that only consumes to a country that produces, because Nigeria cannot have all the raw materials and all they do is export. They are not making maximum use of those raw materials. Because how can we have gold, copper, aluminium, name them, in Nigeria? We have farmlands that can be used to produce crops that can even be exported. But none of them are being used. Even the small ones are managing. Herdsmen have taken over our farmers' land. Herdsmen have taken over our farmers' land. How did we get to this level? This is exactly what the Bible says. To be vindicated. Let's change this country from a country that consumes to a country that produces. And you also always beckon on this issue of investing in education. Because it's when somebody is educated, he will know way forward. In Nigeria now, schools, going to school now, going to university, it's as if you are just fulfilling all righteousness. You are just going for going sake. Because no practical application, no experience, no nothing. You are doing engineering, there's no life practical in your school. You are doing nothing, no practical. You are doing anything, no practical. So how would they intend to apply the knowledge they've learned in school in the outside world? No, because they didn't learn anything in school. They just went there to sort of fulfill all righteousness to be called a graduate. If only we can invest in education and also produce in this country, that's the only way the country can go forward. P2B's words, not mine. I will see you guys in my next video. Just share your views in the comment section. So subscribe if you are new here.